I'm Jerry Thompson here at Grand Prix Minneapolis, and you're watching Magic Time. I came from Virginia, but I'm from here originally, so maybe it was just like a random Grand Prix somewhere else I wouldn't have come, but I got to visit friends and show my girlfriend like where I'm from and stuff, and a bunch of good food around here, so.
I just moved to San Jose, California, so I flew from there to here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, a lot of my friends are from that area. In fact,
pretty much at the very end of 2003. Well, like I didn't start playing competitive until like beginning of 2004.
Invasion Block?
I started playing right after Zendikar came out. So it's been over 2 years now. But I've been to a lot of Grand Prix. This year I've been to every single Grand Prix in the United States. And I intend to go to every single Grand Prix in the United States for the rest of the year as well. So it's a pretty difficult task, but so far I've been doing fine.
It's getting close to 100, I think.
This is either my 48th or my 49th.
I was always into like comic books and stuff like that, fantasy books, and I saw some packs with like some dragons on them. I'm like, oh, these look sweet. So I bought some packs. I guess that's kind of a lie. Like, I bought portal packs when I think like Tempest was out or something, but I had no one to play with, so I first started playing in Invasion Block. But once I found someone that like went to my school and played, like I just got hooked.
The Pro Tour. Like I used to play a different card game, and I was at a store and I would always see people play Magic, and I never really wanted to try it at first, but once I heard about the Pro Tour and winning all that money and fame, and I definitely like, that's like my calling pretty much.
Well, I was dating somebody who was playing the game, and it seemed kind of cool, so I was like, I want to learn how to play, and I learned how to play, and very quickly, like, just kind of took to it. Had a lot of fun drafting, started going to F&M every weekend, and then PTQs, then GPs, and yeah. Yeah, my favorite cards in Standard are like Primeval Titan, pretty much. That card's just amazing. I really like Slagstorm also, Inferno Titan, Wormcoil Engine, pretty much anything that costs 6 mana. And then in Legacy, I'm a big fan of like small fishing creatures. I play Zoo in that format normally. Wild Macadal is just boss. And then Ornithopter has a long time been a favorite card of mine because it's free, it costs 0 mana, and it flies. How could you not like that card? I also collect Grudge Skeletons for no particular reason. Teferi is like one of my favorite cards, but probably like the one that's like my favorite card is definitely Doran, the Siege Tower, because it was the first deck that I used to win the PTQ for the first time. So.
I really enjoy playing like do-nothing control decks basically. So anything that kills with Gaia's Blessing or Nethergo, Psychotog, like those were some of my favorite decks. So probably like those 3 cards, and also like Miko Koro.
Let's see. First appearance of big tournaments. Don't get too nervous if you play against the pro. Like that can be like, you know, nerve-wracking sitting across the table from somebody that, you know, you've seen on coverage before, you know has won a pro tour. But just don't let it get to you. They're just people like you and me, and even if they're way better than you, and even if you make a ton of mistakes, there's still variance, right? And then just have fun with it. Like meet new people, you know, talk to everyone you meet, you know, like make it a point to have a good time. Even if you do badly, it's okay, you know? In a 1,000-person Grand Prix, hey, guess what? You know, only 128 of them or so, you know, day 2. Can't happen to everyone, you know? Just keep trying. If you do bad, whatever.
I mean, honestly, just have fun, you know? Just, like, everyone's really nice. Like, the pros are all awesome, and pretty much just have a good time. Like, everything you could want in Magic is at a Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, preparation, just do whatever you're comfortable with, I think. Like, different people need different amounts of preparation and like different kinds. So like, if you don't need to play a whole lot of games to understand how a matchup is, like you don't have to sit there and just, you know, I see people play like 50 games of a matchup, but they don't like change any cards, they don't really learn anything, so that's kind of pointless. So just play enough to get comfortable, figure out like what cards are important, stuff like that. As for the tournament itself, like basically treat it as a learning experience. Like there's very few people who go into their first big tournament and do really, really well. So like best case scenario, like you pick up some losses and you figure out why you lost and what you could have done differently and stuff like that, and just go from there.
I played Blue Red Delver, and I played it because I didn't like any decks in Standard. They were all boring, like regular Blue Red Delver and regular Green Aggro and stuff. And Bonfire of the Dam is, in my opinion, one of the best cards out of the new set. So I just wanted to put a deck together and just wanted to brew something up and just have fun.
I played Blue White Delver. I wanted to play a 5-color Sun Titan deck, but no one wanted to play it with me. So I had no one to like bounce ideas off of and stuff, and my deck was getting like kind of inbred, kind of weird. So once my friend Charles Gindy called me and was like, "Hey, I have this sweet Delver list." Like I was basically looking for an excuse to bail on the deck that I was gonna play. So I ended up playing like 3 Restoration Angels, Sword of Feast and Famine instead of Sword of War and Peace, and both those things were really good. Like I played against a lot of green decks, and Angel was awesome. The different swords were awesome.
I was thinking about playing Nyapod, but I hadn't practiced enough with it, and a pod deck requires a lot of like remembering what you have in your deck, for instance, and it's just a play style that's a little bit more calculated, and like there's a lot of like math and decisions. Like, do I get an acidic slime here, or do I get like a zealous conscript, stuff like that. I just wasn't having fun with it. Ramp is an archetype I've been playing for pretty much my entire Standard career in Magic, so I just kind of gravitate towards Primeval Titan every time, and it's just fun to play. It's a good deck, reasonable choice. In retrospect, I probably would have built a homebrew version of Wolf Run Ramp rather than the one I played, but I think Ramp is still
I mean, if you saw my top 4 match, I think it had a pretty sweet effect. I like it. It has some pretty sweet cards. Like Bonfire of the Dam is just like crazy. I love the new Looting Land, which is awesome for me all weekend. And you know, Pillar of Flame, it's one of the best removal spells in the format, I feel now. With all the Strangler dice running around, so I think definitely had a positive effect.
I'm not quite sure of the impact it's made on Standard yet. It's already making waves. Cavern of Souls has seen a lot of play, as has like Bonfire of the Damned. But I'm not sure overall if the set is making a positive or negative impact on the format. I'm not a big fan of Standard right now, and I'm not a big fan of the set either, to be honest. I just don't like Angels very much. Just the way it plays. Like I tried it in Sealed, I didn't like it much either. So maybe I'll warm up to it after I start drafting the format. But for now, I'm just not really a fan of the cards.
So far, not that much. Like, you know, there's the occasional Zealous Conscripts, Wolfear Silverheart, Restoration Angel, stuff like that, but I think the fact that Cavern of Souls exists means that, you know, like, there's so many mid-range, like, green-red decks and Birthing Pod decks and stuff like that. Like, the Titan deck should be beating up on these decks, and Delver should be a lot worse than it is, but it seems like people aren't really playing Cavern main, like, they're kind of not really playing these Titan decks. People love the green-red aggro deck. They just absolutely love that thing, so I don't know. I can't wait for it to come out on Magic Online so I can actually like play with these Titan decks and like tune my lists and be able to show people like, you know, these are my accomplishments. Like I didn't want to come in blind and just get crushed and then people were like, hey, you were wrong, you know. So I played something that I knew and did okay with.
After rotation, pretty much the cards that we're seeing play now, most likely. Like without knowing what the new set is going to hold, it's hard to tell. Snapcaster Mage is like really overpowered. Delver of Secrets is naturally, so I imagine those two will be, but I think Wizards is trying to keep them in check. Cards like Cavern of Souls are versatile and will probably see a lot of play. And then, who knows, like, there's a lot of cool, like, tribal things that you can do with the block that are harder to play in Standard right now because there's so many Scars cards, and I imagine it'll look a lot more like the block format at first, you know, when the new set first comes out.
So I mean, everything's going to change, right? Like Titans are going to be gone, Delver isn't really going to be as good of a deck. I'm not sure what actually gets better. Like I guess once Vapor Snag leaves and Delver's worse, then especially if Mana Leak's gone, like that deck isn't going to be as oppressive, so you can play stuff like the hero blade hold type creatures, like those should probably get a lot better. Obviously that one leaves, but if there's anything like that, like Wolfear Silverheart, I guess, is a card that's going to get a lot better.
That's a good question. It's too tough to call. Like, I mean, like, I want to say Geist of St. Traff and Cavern of Souls, probably because I can only imagine that since we're going back to Ravnica, there's going to be a lot of like multicolored themes and stuff. So pretty much stuff like that. The Cavern of Souls that lets you make multiple mana, and Geist is like multicolored card and stuff. So yeah.
Only Titans. As much as I like the Delver deck, I would rather play like red-green mirrors that are, you know, fun and interactive and aren't over by turn 4, whereas the fact that like Delver and Snapcaster and Vapor Snag and Mana Leak exist, like you can set up these board states by turn 3 where your opponent just can't even win. So that's pretty annoying to me. I'd rather like the games just go longer and you get to have more interaction and stuff. So I want Delver to die and I want Titan decks to die, and after that I think I'll be fine.
Like if like Mana Leak ends up rotating out and not coming back, that's good. And then Dissipate with Scars also. Not a big fan of Dissipate. Yeah, I don't like blue cards very much, so I'm pretty glad whenever a blue card leaves the format. Yes, I think I actually really liked most of the cards in Scars and how they work in Standard, so I'm really not too concerned about that. And I'm a big fan of Titans, so Titans rotating isn't you know, I guess Frost Titan can go. Hopefully they'll keep Primeval Titan and Inferno Titan and get rid of the other ones.
Oh, Primeval Titan. Oh god, I hate ramp decks so much. So I'm definitely happy that one's gone.
I think it could be interesting, but I don't know like logistically how it would work for them and if they would change like the price structuring and such. So I'm not really sure.
See, I like that idea. There have been people that have been doing that for like vintage events and stuff like that, and that seems really cool to me. I'm not sure how the math works out for like Swiss tournaments. Like what kind of crazy cuts there are where it's just like half the X and 3s make top 16 or something. It's like, that seems kind of crappy to me. I like it where it's like an even cut where like you have to X11 to top 8 of PTQ, or you have to like X21 to top 8 of Grand Prix. I think it is getting kind of out of hand now where I top 8'd a lot of the Grand Prix that I top 8'd at X and 3, and now you have to be like X and 2, which is like so much worse. But adding an extra round, it takes too much time, and I think that's the same thing where like if you cut the top 16 instead of top 8, it does add an extra round, so it's probably not realistic.
I want to say I'd probably be against that. I just feel like top 8ing is like more, it's like a prestigious thing, you know, and making it cut to a top 16 single elimination, that I wouldn't like this.
When I first started, it was a common feeling. I didn't know very many people that played. A common question I got asked at tournaments was, whose girlfriend are you? Not even, you know, is your boyfriend here, does your boyfriend play, but whose girlfriend are you? That's not something that I like dealing with to start out. But as time went on, I became more known on the circuit, and I started to meet more women that played. And the combination of those two things have made it a lot more comfortable for me. Today I still get people like staring at me, questioning why I'm there, like assuming that like I don't have any buys in the tournament because I'm a girl. But it's a lot less common now. And with like the recent successes of myself, like Lissa Jensen, Jackie Lee, Melissa DeTora, you know, women are just doing better in Magic than they ever have been before, and because of these high-profile finishes, people are becoming more used to it. In the local game store level, I've noticed more girls are starting to come out, but depending on the area, I still walk into stores and people just like are like, "What are you looking for the mall?" You know, like I've been asked questions like that before. Are you sure you're in the right store? Stuff like that. But progress is happening, and I haven't had like anything like particularly offensive or shall I say like alienating happen to me lately, so it's gotten a lot better. Yeah, you don't have to be good at Magic to enjoy the game, and enjoying the game will make you good at Magic. So even if you're self-conscious and you're worried that people will judge you, you know, or that they're going to stare at you because you're a girl, and then you're going to make a mistake and everyone's going to see it, it doesn't matter. Everyone makes mistakes when they play, and it's like the passion and the love of the game and the just getting out there and playing that's gonna like turn you into the type of player that's gonna be able to top 8 Grand Prix in the Pro Tour. Nobody's good when they start out, with a couple of exceptions probably, you know, but everyone has the potential, you know, to make their mark on the tournament scene, and if you just keep trying, you know, eventually, you know, there's a reasonable chance that, you know, you'll be able to do something good. So if you know, you want to play, don't let intimidation get to you, and don't worry about the people staring at you. They're only staring at you because you're unique, you know? It's not a bad thing.
Brad Nelson and I do a bunch of content over at Star City Games. It's premium, but it's well worth it. We do playtesting videos. We do a weekly kind of TV show where we just chat about either like tournaments we went to or decks that we played, and you know, current event type stuff. Like it's pretty good. And Brad's in top 8 of this tournament with a Grand Architect deck. Like, you should get premium just to read his article on this deck alone. So that's it.
As of right now, I don't have any official like sponsorship or anything like that. I've had a couple of offers from smaller stores that are starting to, you know, get set up, asking me if I could potentially work with them in the future, but nothing's actually come to fruition yet. I've written an article for Star City, and I'm probably going to start writing for Gathering Magic. So we'll see how that goes. I like writing, and I like playing, so if anyone wants to sponsor me, you know, hit me up.